everybody.
I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
And this is Smokey Steve and Mark.
Yes, it is.
Welcome or welcome back.
Oh, indeed. How are you doing?
Chilly? Are you chilly?
Are you chilly? Because we're chilly.
I'm chilly.
We're chilly here.
I never had hardwood floors.
The
They're so cold.
whole place.
Tile
Hardwood
and
floors.
hardwood, so.
Oh my gosh, my feet are so cold at night. I'm a minimalist when it comes to clothes in the house.
Yeah.
I'm most comfortable in an old t-shirt and just a pair of shorts and like no socks, no nothing. I know it's bad. You should always
I'm
wear.
bundled up to my nose.
He's always bundled up.
And I run a low temperature. My average body temp is like 97.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. You think I'd be like a lizard or something and I just get used to it, but I guess not.
Yeah.
So,
but I just have to get used to putting, there's no reason why I can't have like some sweatpants or some pajama bottoms and slippers. I want to get slippers.
I know.
Do you know how many times I've said that to you?
I bought you some
I
like
keep
a couple
forgetting.
years ago and they weren't like a perfect fit.
I know.
And you returned them.
I did, and then I didn't get another
And then you
pair.
did get a new one.
Yeah.
Well, we needed the money at the time for something else, probably.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe for kitties. Hi, kitty.
Of course, I could always wear socks too. But anyway, we're getting used to it, Maybe wearing a hoodie. Hi, baby.
We had a visitor. I never
Yeah,
picked
you
the
want me
cat
to
up, and
make
you can
room for
tell
you?
why.
There you go.
There you go.
There he is. This is becoming a habit, huh?
Yeah, he likes, I think,
Yeah.
because we're warm and he's sandwiched between us.
Yeah.
Well, good. Maybe he'll have a segment, too.
Yeah, maybe
Tonight,
he will.
we're going to catch up with a little bit of real talk.
Yes, we are.
Haven't done it in a while, so Mark and I are going to individually check in with you. And then reconvene at the end.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So
Life has been hectic recently. I mean, ever since the move, everything has been so hectic, and a lot of things have been put on the back burner, and of course the first thing that gets pushed aside is anything to do with taking care of yourself, right?
Of course.
Anything that's good for you.
Yeah.
We'll wait on that,
Of course.
But it's time to get back to reality, and
Yeah, we had a wedding and it was great, and now
Yeah.
it's like back into ordinary time. Married, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the things that you do to keep yourself well, or that
Yeah.
I do, they kind of go by the wayside.
They do,
I
and
need
it's
to stay up
very
late
easy.
tonight. I need to let's treat ourselves and
Yes.
get Uber Eats again.
Oh, very true. Yeah. All that, from spending money to taking care of yourself to like getting the right amount of sleep, like all of that,
That's awful.
and it's time to reel it in, and get it back on track. So, we both thought we would share with you where we're at, and then we'll come back and we'll tie it all up together. I'm going to head in the kitchen because you know me, I'm either in the garden or crafting or in the kitchen,
Pretty much.
and I'm making a lasagna tonight because that always ups the mood for real.
That elevated my desire to film. I was like,
I had to
I can't-
bribe him.
I'm like, I can't let him make a lasagna and then not thank him in any way. So here, we'll do the video. We'll film tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be catching up with you in the kitchen while I'm, preparing some things.
I'll get you a little more comfortable. I'll be a little more comfortable to film mine.
Yeah,
So,
sounds good.
all right.
Well, let's get this going.
All right.
Oh yeah, so I'm making a lasagna tonight. Ooh, I'm excited. Steve loves lasagna. In particular, he loves my lasagna. That's pretty cool, huh? I love that. I love that fact, I do. But here I have everything ready to go here. We have, I got my sauce going here. Oh yeah, there's sausage and peppers and onions and ground beef, and I have my cheese ready to go, and my cheese ready to go, and the noodles are done. So really all I'm doing at this point is assembling it and then baking it, So anyway, let me turn this down a little bit. But we haven't had a Real Talk video in a while, and the purpose of our Real Talk videos really are to bring I don't know, sometimes it's about bringing topics and subjects that are a little uncomfortable to talk about. And I am definitely uncomfortable talking about, anything personal, really, and especially things that I struggle with, But life has been really busy the last few months, and it's very easy to put the things that we do to take care of ourselves on the back burner. And sometimes that happens, consciously, we know well, we just don't have time or whatever, so I'll deal with it later. And sometimes it's not consciously, it just happens. And for me, it's a mixture of both. You know, if I start saying, okay, you know, I'm not going to do this today, I'll do that tomorrow, well, the other stuff kind of happens just like automatically without realizing it. And before I know it, you know, I'm in a position where like everything comes flooding back and I get overwhelmed and I get a little confused and a little like, how do I say it? Well, overwhelmed is the right word, you know? And a lot of times when I'm like that, everything turns inward. Y'all know I struggle with, you know, self-esteem and self-worth, and but I usually can keep it in check. I've had years of therapy, you know, and years of experience, and one of the biggest components of keeping myself well is our message of positivity. You know, just combating anything negative, whether it's a thought or a situation, you know, with something positive. Another thought, another situation. Stop what I'm doing and do something that I love to do, you know? Or replace a negative thought with a positive thought, you know? And it works. Takes some practice, but it definitely works. Can get me out of my mind frame, my negative mind frame, I should say, you know? And recently, you know, I've noticed that in the last few weeks that, you know, all that has been coming back. You know, the issues of self-esteem and self-worth and all of that have been coming back, and they've been coming back pretty hard, you know. I find myself being punchy and quick with people. That's definitely an indication that I need to do something, you know, for sure. Because I'm generally not like that, you know, with other people, you know. But I will say that I, you know, I have kind of, oh, forgot the cheese. I will say that I have forgotten, or put on the back burner, you know, my medical appointments. And that's something that I shouldn't do. That definitely should be prioritized, you know. One in particular, my eye appointment, and you know, it's important. I take medications that affect my eyes, you know, and that's where all of this started, you know, was with my eyes. And I'm supposed to be seeing, you know, my eye specialist once every 6 months, and I haven't been to him. I missed my appointment. I had an appointment, actually it was on Halloween, October 31st, and we were on our honeymoon, you know. So I did call them, but I haven't scheduled another one. But, you know, along with that then comes the guilt, right? You know, I feel guilty that I didn't keep up on all that stuff, you know, and so, you know, that's one of them. And, you know, other medical appointments too, you know, just like the regular doctor. And my lab work. I have to get blood work done every 3 months. I did do that last week. I'm all up to date on that, so that's a good thing, you know. But, you know, that's just another example of putting things on the back burner that we really, you know, really shouldn't, you know. And then, you know, other things come into play too. And then I start thinking about, well, you know, finances. Then I start worrying about that. Now, I haven't worried about finances in quite some time. And, you know, we're okay. We're not rich or anything like that, but we're okay. We're able to make our bills. We are able to, you know, get things that, you know, we want and need, you know. And, you know, but I start thinking, oh, I shouldn't have spent money on this, or we shouldn't have spent that much money on the wedding, or blah, blah, blah. And again, it turns inward. So much so that, you know, I start, well, beating myself up and being very mean to myself, you know, and that's not a good place to be either. I still remember, and Stephen still says it to this day, you know, if anybody treated you the way you treat yourself, I'd kill them, you know, and that's a very, very nice sentiment, and it makes me feel good when he says things like that. But he brings up a very, very good point. and that is we are our own worst critics, right? And we are the hardest on ourselves. And being hard on oneself can be a positive thing, can be an okay positive thing. You know, we want to do our best at our job or with a project we're doing or how we treat other people, you know. But this type is, well, it's negative and it's a little destructing and it's harmful, I should say. It's harmful, you know. So there's that, you know, and you know, the whole thing, you know, with going to the dentist, you know, I've been beating myself up for days and days now. And when I say beating myself up, I mean I'm bringing up years and years of stuff, right? Like, oh my gosh, because of my extreme fear and phobia of the dentist, which is a very real thing with me. You know, I have let my teeth get to this point. For living a lifestyle that was unsavory for 10 to 12 years of my life, that was not good for my teeth as well. You know, things like that. Now, of course, I don't even mention the fact that I have very good oral hygiene. I brush my teeth in the morning, I floss, I brush them at night. I always have my whole life, you know. You know, that doesn't matter. That doesn't even come into play at all, you know. Very, very easy to do that, you know. But I do have a fear of the dentist, and it has prevented me from getting much needed work that I need to get done. I was talking about this back at the beginning of summer with you guys, and I just started taking care of it before the wedding, like about a month before the wedding, and it couldn't get all finished by the wedding, so I stopped, and then I got to pick it up again, and I'm dragging my feet with the appointment again. Now, I did call yesterday, but I had to leave a message, and they didn't call back, but I will continue to call until I get the follow-up appointment. I had a couple of teeth removed, and now we're going to move forward with the rest of the work, you know, and I'm definitely scared about it, but the way things are right now, I'm very self-conscious, and it's something that plagues me every single day with every single person, even Steven. And Steven is not judgmental to me, not one bit at all. He doesn't care what I look like. He doesn't look at my teeth, nothing like that, you know. But I know, and it weighs on me. I laugh, I ha ha ha, cover my mouth, you know. And I do think that issues with teeth, you know, affect a lot of people out there. Here in the United States, dental insurance is something of a luxury. It doesn't just come with work insurance. It doesn't just come with even government insurance, you know. And the insurance I have is pretty pathetic. It really is. I basically get a visit a year covered, and that's it. But for the extensive work that I need done, it's thousands of dollars. It is. And then I say, oh, I can't justify spending that amount of money. Like, where does that come from? This is a health issue. It is definitely a health issue. More so than a cosmetic issue, although I feel that my reaction to all of this is due to cosmetic, you know, and the way it looks. But, you know, the only way to get around that is to get it fixed so that I can feel comfortable again, you know. So, you know, that's another thing that I need to do. You know, of course, because I'm worried of the way I look, you know, with the teeth and everything, you know, that also, you know, affects my self-esteem and my self-worth. You know, it's like a vicious circle with all this stuff, you know, and that, on top of everything else, you know, being busy, being overwhelmed, worrying about money, worrying about the catch of the okay in the new house, like everything comes flooding in, and it's like all like crazy in my head, and boom, turns inward, you know. So with all of that, you know, I just found myself in a place that I'm not comfortable and I don't want to be in. So I definitely need to reel it in. And part of that is doing a video like this and sharing it, you know, and hopefully that somebody out there can relate to this type of thing, you know. When I get overwhelmed, I get a little nuts in the head, and then it all turns inward, and I'm very, very mean to myself, which affects my self-esteem and my self-worth, and that overshadows everything I do in my everyday life. You know, it seems a little like grandiose, right? Like, oh my gosh, but it's really not. Most of the time it happens without even realizing it. So anyway, that's what's been going on with me. I need to make some medical appointments, dentist appointments, eye appointments, which I am going to do, especially now that I've said it like this, right? Helps me and kind of, keeps me in check there, I have somebody to answer to. And get back on track with everything, get back on track with my mental health, and so that's what I need to do. So I'm almost done with my lasagna here, guys. I guess I'll show it to you and go meet up with Steve back in the studio and we'll wrap this up, okay? All right.
Well, hello everybody. Steve again, you know. Different location. I'm in my chair, my current chair, in our living room, and it's butt cold, so I have my heating pad with me. And I have the weighted blanket for later. Today is a good example of what's been going on for the last few months. We're doing a little check-in. I'll start back with what the resolutions were at New Year's, among other things. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to manage my mental health medications, reduce what I could and eliminate what I could, and I don't know, just feel good. Just feel good. Feel positive, obviously. Stay positive. Health-wise, physically, things are a little weird right now. I'm not in any pain at all, so I'm fine. But I have to go to either the doctor this week or probably to the hospital. I possibly tore my rotator cuff, or it's impinged or something like that. All I know is I slept on my arm funny and I haven't been able to barely use it for like 2.5 weeks. I can't reach anything over my chest. Like, watch this. We're gonna box. Boom! Now watch this arm. The elbow wants to pick up the slack. So I emailed my doctor and it's going to be getting it checked out. So to see if it needs any sort of follow-up. Like I said, it's been irritating because the last 2 weeks, I can't put anything on a high shelf. I can only wash my hair with one hand. There's a couple other things that are a little more challenging. But, like I said, I'm not in any pain, so I'll take that. The lack of mobility in the arm is a little concerning, but like I said, I'm in touch with my doctor. I had anticipated, because I catastrophize, I decided years ago that by a certain age, probably 40, I would be immobile completely or shaking so much I couldn't stop from 20 years of being on psych meds. So I had anticipated that maybe my body wouldn't always work as I wanted it to over time and have to make that decision between even though mental health, your brain's part of your body, but still to have to choose between insanity and health otherwise. So, I've worked with kids who, they've responded to one medication, only one medication. And it was a medication that their body couldn't tolerate. And so they just wander around in a haze, kind of. I don't want that to be me. I haven't been in a hospital in 3 years? 2 years. 2 years. That was the last time that I had such a huge mental health flare-up that I ended up in the hospital. It was February. It was right before COVID. It was like February 10th or something. And then the lockdown came about 3 weeks later. And I was very happy to be working from home at the time. Now I'm out in the community. It's a little different. I'm working in the office 2-3 days a week, and then at home, the flip, 2-3 days a week. And work's good, but there's been some changes there too. I'm still employed. I'm still employed full time. But when I was hired in 2013, it was 2013, I think. Middle of 2014, I started full time at my job. And the program I was working on worked with youth and young adults in 2 adjacent counties who are high-end users of mental health services. And it's to provide education, provide support, provide a reflection of what, my own recovery looks like. And just, be there for the people and meet and talk and track progress and things like that. So that was sometimes fun and sometimes unfun because there's teenagers there. I don't want kids. I got the long stick when it came to the gay thing. I don't want, especially teenagers. But they did pull at my hearts because there's not a long line of people trying to adopt 17-year-olds with behavioral health problems. You know, whenever people talk, there's so many kids in foster care. And because they're not kids, you know, babies are cute, but it takes a person with a special kind of self to foster anyway, let alone a youth that's further along that might have some challenges. And working with that population was fun at times. Other times they just stare a hole straight through you. And that task, the contract has run out. The grant ran out. So after 8 years, they were paying 100% of my salary out of that grant. And now, transition-y, you know, we got married, obviously. You were there. And kind of things were going to change anyway coming up quick. So what I find out at work now is that I'm doing entirely different work than I had done before. I'll still be doing trainings and workshops and all that kind of stuff and talking to crowds of people, which drives me insane beforehand, but I love usually by the end. So I can still do all that stuff, but I won't be working with any youth anymore. Instead, I'm going to be taking on another different position, doing something similar to advocacy involving young people, but advocacy work is fun work. Everyone thinks that you're going to save the day. So they're very excited and happy and sometimes desperate to talk to you. So it'll be a change from what I've been doing this whole time I was there. It's always good, I think, for me to be diversified in my skill sets. So if everyone says, can somebody help out with this? I'll help out. Because the more I know how to do, the less likely they'll be to lay me off. You know, there's nothing that goes on at the agency that, like, I am the truth keeper of. There's nothing there that they could say, we couldn't do this without Steve. Except for the program I did, and now it's gone. So it's going to be more collaborative. I'll be working with more coworkers, taking on some different projects. Same number of hours, same office, still hybrid, home and there. And then there's another agency where I'm going to be doing some youth advocacy or something related to the parent organization I work for. So that'll be a new position there. That'll be like 2 days a week, and the rest will be other stuff. So it's a change. I'm looking forward to it. I don't exactly know what they told me, because as soon as they said your contract has been, the grant ran out, pretty much, I was like, well, you know, Mark can carry me for a while, I guess. Made me feel scared, like I was going to lose my job when they told me. I was very, very afraid of that. I always had in my head, no matter how sick I was, whether it was drunk or crazy, we're talking about me here, I won't talk about you like that, but we're talking about me. It was like always my big fear that I would just be a big burden for the rest of my life, and that working and providing myself some kind of income proves that I'm still functioning on some level. And that's true, but I've done the zombie into work for like the last 4 days since daylight savings time. Some of us are more sensitive than others. I am a wilting violet when it comes to daylight savings time. I was ready to go to sleep around 6 p.m. You know, it's dark here now at like 5:30. And the nights just feel very long. Not the late night. I mean, the time between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. feels like an eon before it's time to go to bed. And I'm sensitive to it, not super sensitive, but enough that I've noticed. And so I'm trying to like keep myself well, keep myself calm, try to keep things on the even. So I have my heating pad. I have my Mio orange, calorie free. This dovetails nicely into the weight loss. So I want to have a candle over here on the side. And Mark went out so I could film this, so I wasn't apprehensive about what to talk about either. So, on to the topic of health. Weight loss was one of the things I had committed to first at the new year. And then I had set a deadline before the wedding was coming up that I wanted to lose X amount of weight. I did not lose the 50 pounds in 3 months that I wanted. Probably wasn't a good idea for someone like me anyway. But I did drop about 20. I went from 232 down to 205.7, something like that. So it was about 25 pounds down. I've only gotten on the scale twice since the wedding, and we are having gained it all back, but probably 2 or 3 pounds, realistically, once you get out water, weight, and waste and everything. So I'm still doing my routine with eating, still intermittent fasting. I'm going to be experimenting with eating something during the day. I know it breaks the fast, but I'm finding that the lag time in between is so far, even if I stay super hydrated, that I'm finding myself so hungry during OMAD that I'm overeating. So I have to kind of pull that back a little bit. And continue with healthful weight loss. There's no specific goal other than health and self-confidence and that kind of thing when it comes to losing the weight now. There's no big event. The wedding's over. I don't know when I'll have a tux or a suit on again, but we'll all find out together, I'm sure. Probably a costume or something for next Halloween. So yeah, married life's been good too, by the way. I kind of thought I'd be like, because I'm flaky from time to time. I don't do it purposely, but it definitely happens. And I thought, what if I get like all feel confined and can't breathe and feel smothered? He left without me to go do stuff and left me here to do this. I love that. You know, I love that. The conversation's been good. We saw our old couples therapist at the wedding, and we were like, this wouldn't happen without you. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. And on that end, our relationship really hasn't been too much better than this. It's been good. And I didn't even have to fly halfway around the world to go find him either. Who knew? So that's where things are at now. Something's in the oven, ready to come out, so I'm going to go give that my attention. But thank you all for letting me check in. Health, pretty good. Some concerns, pretty good. I could have it much worse. I've had it much worse on myself, too. I'm not comparing you to you, me to you, comparing me to me. I've been in worse shape and still had a better attitude. So I'm going to have my heating pad and a cigarette and the rest of my Mio, turn off the oven, and relax into my chair. And then wait for Mark to get home. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.
See, that's why I don't like doing videos like this. I don't know if I don't remember what I said. I'm too weird to watch it back, and I don't know if I got my point across. I don't even know, like, what.
This was autobiographical. What do you mean? You
said I know. Well, what I wanted to say, you know, because of putting some things on the back burner, because things were kind of busy, you know, that I'm at a point now where, like, I don't want to be around people because I don't like the way that I look. I'm not motivated to do things with, like, the passion that I usually have with it because, of course, some depression has set in, you know, when things like this happen. And even what you were sharing about, like, you know, it's very normal for depression and anxiety to set into, you know?
And it can creep in quick.
Real quick without even realizing.
It's a lousy guest.
Yes.
It just shows up.
Yes. So. And like I said, I've been punchy with people and I have to apologize. And, you know, I don't like being that way, you know? I don't. And neither does he.
Kitty hugs help.
But you brought up some really...
Well, I mean, it's kind of just what's
good points, you know,
going on with it. It's like the goals haven't changed,
right?
But sometimes things stall,
right?
Or you get sidetracked and you don't plan for it. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's another good thing. Our goals, we made progress with our goals for the wedding. Did we give ourselves credit for that? No,
the goal was
we
to
still
lose
keep
a little
going
weight,
more,
and we actually did,
and we did.
And it was not to drive ourselves into bankruptcy with a wedding,
right?
Which we did.
You
know, and you know, health concerns are what they are.
Yeah.
You know, you get them checked out and you roll with it. It's not like I can
Very true.
Go away.
Yeah.
So,
but we like to end on a positive note too. And I really wanted, to say that, like, when I was talking, I had said, like, combating negativity with positivity is one of my major tools, and that's why we're so big on, like, stay positive, everybody, because it really is a good tool.
Helps not bury your head in the sand,
right?
But to take a more kinder, lighter orientation towards challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Just as challenges,
as
being
challenges,
positive, not as just one more effing thing.
Yeah. But then, another tool is kind of what we did tonight, and that is not keeping it to ourselves and sharing it, I mean, if anybody is out there, can relate to anything that either one of us said today, that's a positive thing. That's great, and that's what we hope for. And know that you're not alone. I think that one of the worst things about any type of mental health issue is that isolated, lonely feeling, of being totally alone, and it's not the case.
It's not, but that's the feeling, and your feeling is your reality, I guess, at the moment sometimes. So even though those things aren't true, they're enough to kill your mood, change your habits, rock your sleep.
Easy to roll with.
It's very easy to just run with it. All of a sudden, by the end of self-deprecating, you're like, and by the way, you don't deserve a cat.
Yeah, right. I know.
But thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to our piece. And we just wanted to check in at the end. And of course, Bandit here has staked his claim. He would not move. To let Mark sit down. So I tried to pet him and he usually runs. No, he liked it. So
he liked it.
I'm going to swat with him.
Tempt him with some treats and then he'll get down.
We're going shopping. I'm going to stay in here and cuddle with the cat. Because he won't come to me.
No, he doesn't usually jump up on you.
No, he doesn't. So I'll go over to him.
Yeah.
And that'll be the end of my night. Going to bed a little early, little self-care. Got the early day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
And this too has helped me because now I feel like, okay, now I have a place. I kind of need to answer. Like, I need to follow up with what I said.
Mhm.
And that gives me motivation to do that and make those appointments. Get back to my self-care routine, which is honestly at this point is effortless when I'm doing it every
you're in the
day,
groove, yeah.
and my life is better when I'm taking care of myself,
Mhm. And my life is better when I'm taking care of myself. And
It
your
is.
life is my life is better when you're taking care of yourself.
Yes, and my life is better when he's taking care of himself.
See,
See
it's-
how
see
that
if it all
works?
works,
Yeah.
yeah.
And y'all's life is much better because you don't want to see us be here like all mopey every day. I don't know.
We can just
but-
post hateful community posts and turn our comments off.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Mhm.
We could each just go out and marry somebody.
We could.
Oh, we're
How far
already
do I have to
married.
fly?
Right.
out.
Well, thank you so much for listening to us
Yes.
tonight.
Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You'll get
Mhm.
alerts when we have new videos and go live. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Email and contact info is below as well. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you soon.
Yes, we will tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And I think Steven might be cooking.
I might be in the kitchen.
Maybe with a new gadget, too.
With a new gadget.
Thanks again, everybody. You have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time. Remember, stay positive. Ciao, everybody.
Bye.
What'd you think, Bandit?
We have lasagna.
Yay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Lasagna, you know what? If all else fails, lasagna makes everything okay.